closely followed by the Banshee 3M of Ubershot with 461, and Onem in the Oxide got 460 damage. The Nova Prime of Tolson went down very, very early, as well as Loganov's Banshee 3M. If you have a look at the two assaults of SIG, Black Dragon, and Nanahammock in the Mauler MX-90s, they definitely dealt some damage. Black Dragon 538 and Nanahammock 314. But it was not enough to stop the push of 42.
Okay, and the map is up for the next drop. This map is Tourmaline Desert, and it'll be once again on Conquest.
If I'm not mistaken, we are looking at a 4-0 lead of 42 right now, don't we, Pupenshire?
I'm sorry, say it again.
If I'm not mistaken, 42 is leading 4-0 right
Yes.
now, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
That's pretty impressive. And both teams seem like they don't want to waste any time. They want to fight it out on every map we've seen so far. Both have been fairly aggressive, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like that again. Bradley, let's have a look at the map here, Tourmaline Desert. Drop 5 is the most heavy map, heavy drop in this match. We have 2 lights, 2 heavies, and 4 assaults. What would you expect from these teams?
One moment. Which map is this? This is
Tourmaline Desert.
Tourmaline Desert. It's hard to say. I think it can go to. I think this map is geared in such a way where it can go to caps. I think just judging by what's happened so far, I think 42 will probably bring fast brawlers. It's not that difficult to bring 4 assaults that can run 70 plus. Close into theta as quickly as possible, and try to fight at the stage area. It's it's very hard to guess. I think SIG has the better side for a long range engagement.
All right.
Just because of that E4, the
E4 spawn point
corner, that alpha spawn point in E4. Now the alpha spawn point for Team 1 can counter it fairly effectively, especially with stalkers. But it's just not necessary. The distance between the 2 alpha lances is not huge, even for assaults. And if you have a mid-range deck fighting a long-range deck, that I would say a mid-range deck for Team 1, a mid-range deck for Team 1 can push a long-range deck at alpha and really only have a few seconds where their weapons are at a disadvantage.
But I think what we should keep in mind here is Tourmaline Desert is a very, very hot map, and what we have seen through the week so far in maps in matches before this one is that a lot of teams like to bring Dakamax here. Especially as this drop is very, very, very heavy. We have seen a lot of Mauler MX-90s. We have seen King Crabs. We have seen even dire wolves or atlases. Do you think these teams are ready to bring them something like that as well?
Well, I think the spawns actually favor 42 not bringing a long range deck. I think DACA is certainly going to be in there. I mean, you have to bring 4 assaults, so 2 of them being Mauler MX90s with 5 AC5s, or the other Mauler variant that does 4 ultras very well. Either one of those I think is very appropriate for this map, and there's really no reason not to bring it. Especially if you have that Team 2 side that can overwatch Theta from range. That's really Team 2's advantage on this map, is they can cover their lights. You can send lights to Theta from the Team 2 side and cover them with your main body. Whereas from the Team 1 side, it is very difficult to take Theta and cover them at the same time.
All right.
That's why I feel like 42, if they're playing, especially if they're not planning on playing the cap game, bring some Overwatch. Certainly a couple Mauler MX90s would be great for that. And fast brawlers, find out where SIG is going to set up, do just a little bit of scouting, and then push them.
All right.
I mean, it's going to be painful, probably lose some mechs, but especially if SIG brings ER large lasers, or more long-range builds, the distances here aren't excessive, on Conquest mode at least. The distances aren't terrible because you have to be near Theta to defend it. As far as SIG, they really do have a great side for capping. Obviously, Sigma is an automatic if they want it. Kappa is not difficult to take, especially if if 42 takes Alpha and Bravo lances. Epsilon has plenty of cover to get to if the long range game is playing slow. And like I said earlier, Theta is coverable from both Echo 4 and Fox 5. Whereas as far as Team 1, it's difficult to cover Theta from anywhere, just because of the way the terrain is around Theta.
The teams are setting up right now. From what we can see so far is that 42 is setting up in Alpha and Bravo lands, and SIG is setting up in Alpha and Bravo lands as well. SIG is all ready, while 42 is still waiting. SIG is already again. They are setting up in Alpha and Bravo, while 42 is setting up in Alpha and Bravo as well. Let's play this through real quick. Imagine you're 42. What are you going to do?
I would place my longer to mid-range mechs. Any mech that's capable of fighting from D5 to E4, I would place in Alpha. Those would be all of my assaults, my slowest mechs. I'd place my fastest mechs in Bravo. I would bring my Bravo Lance up to stage as fast as possible. Just no breaks, as fast as they can get to D5. I'd have my Alpha Lance post up in D5 immediately, shooting towards Echo 4. Distract, try to get intel. It's kind of weird gathering intel with assaults, but just try to see if Team 2's Bravo Lance is pushing more towards Fox 5, or if they're pushing more towards Echo 4. If they're splitting to cap. If it feels like they're pushing towards Fox 5 or splitting to cap, I would immediately push and I would bring Brawlier lights and heavies as well. I'd immediately push my Brawly heavies and lights towards Echo 4 with the assaults following, and try to crush that Alpha Lance for SIG. If they're all set up there, you'll have to reevaluate. Maybe take it into caps. Maybe try to goad them into coming to you. It would be more of a reactionary thing. But my first plan would be to push their Alpha Lance with both Bravo and Alpha Lance for me.
Okay, and we're greening it.
Brawly lights immediately.
Looks like that last crash lost us 5 minutes, so it'll all be on the video when we upload
it. Okay. Yeah, I'd bring Brawly heavies and lights. push across open ground. It'll be painful. But with 4 assaults, especially if you bring, say, 4 and 5 laser assaults with a couple MX-90s with DACA, wouldn't be that difficult to suppress and to at least give as good as you got as you're crossing that open ground.
Let me tell you what I would do in response on the side of SIG. I would place my assault and heavy, my assault lines in alpha. I would have dire wolves, king crab, and a mauler. All DACA.
Right.
And I would be happy if you try to push me, because I think I can even take down your assaults fairly quickly with this, because I can keep firing consistently without the need to cool down much. I would have my heavies in Bravo, send them to Alpha to join up with the assault lines and help them to suppress 42. I would send my lights, one of them to Sigma real quick to grab a cap. I would send the other one over Alpha, maybe to Epsi if I can. And then I would see if 42 wants to cap something or push me. And send my lights back to support the main force on Alpha in case they want to push to have some kind of light defense. If they don't push, I can send them out again to cap something.
Okay,
but
we're
let's
drop.
see what is actually going to happen right now.
Absolutely.
So Team 142, we have a Timberwolf S, Arctic Cheetah Prime, King Crab, Quad Ot, a Black Knight 6, Battlemaster 1G, 2 Mauler X90s, and a Jenner Oxide.
On Team 2, SIG, we have a Banshee 3E, a Firestarter 9S, 2 Mauler MX90, a Grasshopper 5H, an Ebon Jaguar, a Direwolf Prime, and a Wolfhound 1A.
Certainly seems both teams went DACA heavy on the assaults.
And SIG has actually grabbed Theta first. And they are trying to scout 42 out right now. But they need to be careful not to lose their lights here.
Yeah, SIG should have the better lines on Theta from the Team 2 side.
And the main force of SIG actually have set up where we predicted. They are firing at 42 right now. But the Ebon Jaguar and one of the Maulers are hurt already.
That Mauler is open right torso red.
But 42's Mauler, one of the Maulers doesn't look too good as well, and the Timberwolf of Ezran is hurt pretty badly.
And it looks like 42 is moving to a different position.
And SIG just kept Epsilon, like I thought. They have 2 caps now.
Garrett's and that Arctic Cheetah is moving off.
Yeah, they're trying to swing around.
And Flying Gecko,
they're getting into Theta right now. They want to make sure that
and that's drawing in Zip
too long. It's hard to tell who's going to win this fight. SIG seems to be fairly damaged already. They have a couple of mechs that are really badly hurt.
And Lego pushed it, but somehow managed to get out.
And Tolson's King Crab is still almost completely fresh. But the Direwolf doesn't look too bad as well.
this point,
How
looks
long can SIG
it's
draw
just a
this
fire
out?
exchange still.
Yeah, it still is. There was another strike on SIG, which hit the grasshopper, I think, and maybe even the mauler. Forty-two's lights had to give up Theta. They were not able to fight the Wolfhound and the Firestarter with a superior range.
And that Arctic Cheetah gets caught out with a couple shots. And Flying Gecko and the Jenner Oxide is starting to pull out again.
But 42 is making a move for right now. They know SIG has the advantage in terms of caps. They don't send out their lights too far.
And Lego Pirate and Ziphius looks like they're going to move in response to Flying Gecko. Maybe they've seen him.
Yeah, maybe they have. Flying Gecko is heading to Kappa.
And Azerin goes down in the Timberwolf S. And those
SIG is
lights have
not
broken
looking
off.
too
They
bad
seem to
right
be
now.
staying close.
They try to get in a couple of shots from time to time. And Majestic's max their 16 smaller down to 40%, 38% already. It can't be long until he goes down 34%, and there he goes down. The lights took him out. The Arctic Cheetah tries to fight them back.
In the meantime, Gecko has turned Kappa. Looks like he's going to head over to Sigma now to continue capping. And
the Arctic
SIG's, Bigs,
Cheetah
and
goes
Assaults
down
are
for
starting to come
42.
in.
SIG has definitely the upper hand here right now. They are leading in caps. They are 3 kills up. Their lights are doing a very, very good job here. That is pretty amazing. If you look
But
at
they don't know that
what the
Gecko's headed to
Wolfhound.
Sigma.
But do they really need to care? It's right now it's actually an advantage for them. With Gecko in the Oxide off to Kappa, 42 is missing crucial firepower. They're down 3 max already. That means they have only 4 max left there.
Lots of fire being exchanged.
And
there goes
and
Majestic
the Black
down.
Knight of Majestic went down. Tolson's King Crab
And
will
Soak
follow
and the
soon.
Grasshopper went down. Loganaw and the Mauler's down.
But
Mongo is the last one.
Tolson is down. Tolson is down in the King Crow.
All that's left is the Jenner
Gecko is
Oxide.
the last one.
Let's go see where he's at. Well, they know he took Sigma because Sigma's turned.
They know exactly where he is.
Or they did a couple seconds ago. Now that he's off, they don't know which direction he's going. But I'm going to say pretty close. He's
But
not
what should
going
he
to run
do?
towards them.
What should he do? SIG has a cap lead of almost 100 cap points. They are just 1 cap behind. They have still both of their lights. They can easily outcap 42, even if Gecko is managing to keep capping and running away from them for the whole time.
At this point,
I doubt that he's going to be able to do that.
Not sure what much more he could do at this point.
All he can do right now is try to get another kill to get some of the precious Seabolts for his team.
And right now, with this being 4-0, this could be a 4-1. That would put them tied for first then for MRBC Division B. C-Bills will become pretty important then.
Yeah, to me it looks clearly like a 4-1. 42 is not going to turn this around again with just the Oxide left alive against 6 other mechs. SIG has a cap advantage. They took 4 caps. This is going to be over in a minute. We are just 200 caps away from the victory for SIG. To me, this was kind of a surprise, Bubenshire, after the very dominant performance of 42 in the first 4 drops. SIG really turned around and showed that they are capable of beating even a very strong team like 42 anytime if they get their strategy working, and this time they definitely did. Yeah, we are just seconds away from the end of this match right now. I think Gecko should have really tried to go for another kill. Maybe find the maulers and a hard with Deckard to hit a fast-moving light and get the kill on the one of the badly hurt maulers before he goes down himself. That would have guaranteed another 25,000 C-bolts to 42. But here we are right now. The match is over. Let's have a look at the damage scores. I think that's going to be very interesting. And we can clearly see here how well SIG did. Their assault lance dealt a lot of damage, especially these hard-hitting Dakamax, the two maulers, the Dire Wolf as well. The Banshee, to me not such a big surprise, was definitely outdealt in terms of damage. And even if Mango did a great job for 42 with 526 damage, it was not enough for the team. That was a clear victory for SIG. Congratulations. So, Bradley, this match is over. We have a 4-1 victory for 42. I think it was very, very impressive. A lot of interesting games. What do you think about this game?
I think if we were looking at the results so far in the season, it could have been predicted. I think these two teams are closer in overall ability than the scoreline shows. I think some of the other drops could have certainly gone SIG's way with a bit better focus fire or slightly better positioning. But 42 had a great plan, aggression. It's harder to be that super aggressive push team on some of these bigger, heavier maps, and we saw the games get closer as that happened. The light drops, they were very impressive. As far as that being aggressive, focus firing well, getting teams down quickly, or getting mechs down quickly.
Yeah, I think the 4-1 victory definitely means in terms of drops won, drops lost. 42 Smoke Jays are now even with Night Scorn. We will have a look later at the C-builds when the final results are in, and both teams have provided the actual scores. I agree. I think SIG could have taken 1 or 2 drops more from 42 in terms of what they're able to do. They were certainly more closer to 42 than the score might tell us right now. But in Division B, we have very, very strong teams, and even the smallest mistake might cost a team a drop already. So it's really a lot about not making too many mistakes, isn't it, Bradley?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, mistakes make matches. Obviously, good play, good shooting, taking advantage of good positions or poor positions from the other team that's important. But a lot of times, especially on the bigger maps, that one assault that gets stuck on a piece of terrain they didn't notice, or the light that's caught out of position really costs the team a game. A light gets legged, or an assault takes more damage than he was intending to, and that seals the deal for the other team. So a lot of these matches are determined on the mistakes and which team can make the fewest mistakes.
Especially in the higher divisions. Especially in the higher divisions. I mean,
absolutely.
In Division A and B, we have very experienced pilots and teams on all sides. They all have made their homework. They know how to scout the opponent. They have good strategies. They have good individual pilots. It all comes down to make less mistakes than the opponent.
Okay, guys. Well, we're going to end it here. So
Certainly.
get this stream before any more mistakes happen or any more things crash. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Tune in again for the next match. And hopefully the next match will have completely different errors and problems like the last one. Every match is a new mistake, a new problem, and a new crash. Something different every time for you to watch. Thanks for watching. Remember, follow MRBC on Twitch. Follow us on Twitter. And, hey, hopefully we'll catch some more good matches this week. Thanks. Have fun. Bye.
Yep.
And